Hi, everybody. I know it's early in the morning in California, but I had to make the video before I go on vacation for about a week. You may have the title of my video that on my live stream. We're talking about the new Jim Crow. We're talking about the new Jim Crow trying to take away voting rights in the South, voting rights from African Americans than poor whites. This coward, this governor, I'm not going to call him a governor, this dictator wants to do that, restrict voting rights, have voter ID and everything because some people can't afford a birth certificate because they poor white or poor black to get a birth certificate to get their ID because they need to have a birth certificate to get their ID. And these people are going through the lens to not have people like me, my people don't vote. You have the Town Business of the world and the Lisa Cabrera of the world saying that they're not voting because they don't the politicians don't hold black issues. First of all, you have to get active. You have to get active to tell them about uh, you want to have them to be active in black issues. Other than that, shut your mouth. If you don't want to vote, I don't want to hear your mouth. That go for Town Biz. That go for Lisa Cabrera. That go for Phil from African Dollar Foreign News. If you're not gonna vote, you don't have no right to be at the table and tell people like me that vote what needs to be changed. The person that needs to tell that saying that it needs to be changed is people like me that are voting and other people that's voting that's like minded. But I digress. The governor of Georgia signed a bill restricting rights for their residents to vote in an election. They stripping polls. They stripping early voting. They stripping mail-in ballots and everything else to order for them to win elections. They can't win it fair. They cannot win it fair. But they could have serious consequences. They could say, okay, we can restrict the vote. We could take polling places out of the poor blacks in the poor white area. We could take early Sunday polling, the Sunday polls that the church member go and take the people to the poll area for them to vote. Uh, absent mail-in ballots, also known as absentee ballots, they are trying to strip that away. Mr. Kemp, you are a fucking coward. You are a bitch made fucking coward. You you are messing with the people and the will of the people because you lost two sentences and you lost and your state turned blue in the election with Joe Biden. You don't want that to happen again, so that's what you're doing. It's not going to work because your tactics is getting your tactics is getting it's getting exposed each and every day when you do it. It's getting exposed, Mr. Kemp. So it's getting exposed. So you can't sit here and say, "Oh no, it's not doing this or it's not doing that." I'm trying to put the integrity of the vote. I care about everybody else. No, you don't. I'm gonna say some examples that needs to be said, and some of it is gonna be examples of how we're gonna get this and to have a fair compromise. If the Republicans want to have voter ID laws, they should have IDs for people that cannot afford to get an ID. I know in California, they have a no fee application and a reduced fee, meaning that they can go to the state welfare office, get that, take it to the motor vehicle, and get them an ID free of charge, or get the ID for a reduced price. Agencies like mental health agencies, welfare agencies, homeless outreach and outreach programs have those applications that you can go to the motor vehicle and get get an ID. If the Republicans want, like I said, if the Republicans want people to have their ID, they should come up with some type of way for they can get their birth certificate, because some people don't have money to get their birth certificate. You have to have a birth certificate. Like for instance, if these people cannot afford a birth certificate, they should get have them to get a have them get a reduced fee for a birth certificate, or if it's extreme circumstances, have them get it free of charge, because they cannot afford to get their birth certificate. Number two, IDs. Like I said before, we should either have like in California, they should have a reduced fee and a no fee ID to help with the people that cannot get an ID. That's the second. Okay, number three. Number three, and this is a third one. Mm, If you want to, hold up. No, it's something in my building. Sorry about that. If you want to have people vote fairly, you will not get rid of absentee voting or mail-in voting. Y'all doing that because more people that have to go to work can just go and fill it out at the comfort of their home and drop it off in the mailbox and go about their business. Another thing they should have election day as a federal holiday. That means that election day should be known as a federal holiday where people can go out and vote. I know I know when I work, they say the first 2 hours or the last 2 hours I can go and vote. And they have to pay me, and they have to pay me for me to go and vote. It seems to me that these people want to have disparity between um, for them to win easily. And a lot of people saying that the Democrat Party is racist. Do they understand that they did a political switch when LBJ went and signed the Voting Right and the Civil Rights Act? That the ones that was Democrats went to the Republicans, and ones that Republican went to the Democratic Party. They did a political switch in the '60s. But if they don't know their history. So since they don't know their history, they are ignorant because they don't know their history. They don't know their history behind the political switch in the '60s. I was like them until somebody set me straight and say, "Do you know that they did a political switch in the 1960s?" I didn't know that until I did a lot of research on it. And they say, okay, they did a political switch in the 1960s, saying, switching from what party it is. I have issues with the Republican Party doing doing voter suppression. That's the only way they can win is by voter suppression. You know, they want to they want to do voter suppression. They want to they trying to get rid of people that are transgender. They're trying to say, okay, transgender can be in sports or they can't get medications to confirm their gender. They doing that. They doing trans sports, so they can't go into girl sports. They had to go into sports that they was born at. They can't go into the bathroom that they do. They have to go into the bathroom that they assign at birth. Uh, they doing a lot of shit that is not helping. And then they saying, oh, they concern is that a person can use that law against them to be predatorial against women and girls. I'm the big advocate of protecting women and girls, but it is a non-issue if all they going in there is taking a piss or taking a shit. So you want a transgender woman that a fully transition to a woman, have everything, the top, the bottom surgery, and having enhancements and stuff like that to go into a male's bathroom. Do you know what's gonna happen to that person in a male's bathroom? Republicans fail because you have it years ago that Target when they do that, you're not gonna bring your wife in there. Do you know what's gonna happen to transgender people if they go and use the men's restroom? Two things: they're gonna get the ass beat or they're gonna get raped. Nobody don't care about that. Nobody don't give a fuck about that because they so into their fucking feelings. They so in their fucking goddamn motherfucking feelings that they don't know how they don't know what to do. They just say, "Oh, this transgender person, da 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 da. I hate these transgender people, da 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 da. These trans people do this, da 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 da." And it's like, hello, they human beings too. I believe we should we should respect everybody's point of view and respect what how they express themselves. You having black transgenders getting murdered. And then there's this one guy named Phil from the African Diaspora News that do not report on that at all. I don't know if he don't know how to do it or he just don't want to do it. But if he's so into black issues, that is an issue. Black people are getting murdered. You are co-signing because I heard him say this once before, or somebody told me this once before that he's saying that they get what they deserve if if they don't come out and tell them that there was a man at birth. You're not gonna go when you first meet a person. You're not gonna go and tell a person, "Hey, look, I was a male at birth." because you don't know that person. If 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 you went on two, three, 4 dates, then you could tell the person, oh, by the way, by and by, uh, I was a male at birth. Then at that point, the guy can either go and say, okay, it doesn't matter, or nay, I don't want to do it uh because it goes against what I want to do and I want to have kids. But they go and murder them. You have Harvey off of your world. Go and call Chelsea Manning Bradley, which is a person dead name, and you don't care about that person's dead name. You're gonna use their dead name to say, I'm gonna call him. I'm not gonna call him Chelsea. I'm not gonna call that person Chelsea. I'm gonna call that person with the name that they have at birth. That is disrespectful. That is very disrespectful to do. You saying it's okay for you to go and do that, and some people will look at you like, okay, man, I know that you are against transgender and homosexuality, but come on now. You gonna misgender them? And you know why they're getting special privileges because assholes like Phil and assholes like Torian Rain and assholes like Harvey, which I agree with 80% of what he has to say. And the other 20 I just don't agree with. But I agree with him for the most part. Torian Rain call transgender people the alphabet community, with meaning that you basically saying that these people are different. Call them the academy. Mm. See, he basically thinking that the people in the academy go molest people, which that's not the case. They believe that the people in the academy rape people, which that's not the case. There's a small number, very small number. He thinking, oh, the people from the academy, they're gonna do that, they're gonna do that. And I used to go back and forth with this person, but to me, they don't care. They'll call them a name. They say that's their lingo. That to me, that is very, 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 very rude and disrespectful to a person's identity. You basically saying they don't worth shit. That's basically what you're saying. These people don't worth a piss, a drop of piss. Because you thinking that it's okay for you to go and do this to people. Back to what it is. They back to what the conversation at hand. We have people going and discriminating against people for voting because it was in high numbers in previous election because of the pandemic. That's why a lot of people voted by mail. And because of the pandemic. And then don't get me started on Georgia because in the minority community, they have one polling place for that county. And they have to stand in line for uh, all day just for them to do it. They have one polling place in one county. See, it's not like California, it's not like LA County in California that you can go to any polling place and do and put in your vote. You go to any polling place to have your vote. It's a shame that we cannot have a civil discussion about it. If you want people to have IDs, y'all need to provide your states, the ones that say that need to provide those people with IDs so they can afford to get IDs. You need to make it access for people that have when they have their birth certificate that they can make their birth certificate affordable for they can have their birth certificates to get their ID. When when I say that their head will explode and say that's not their problem, they can do it themselves. But if they are living on paycheck to paycheck and they have to put a roof over their head and food in their belly and electricity and all of that other stuff, they can't get it because of the fact of the matter is there. See, y'all thinking that it's okay to go and do that. But when you get called out on it, y'all like, oh, you getting called up, blah, 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 we getting called up, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, y'all getting called out, y'all getting called out because of y'all bullshit. What gonna be next? Republicans. Transgenders can't vote because you have to use your God given name that you have at birth to order the order for you to the order for you to vote. We have to this is what you have to do in Georgia for the people that it is in Georgia and Texas. These are the two options. One, go to another state that doesn't have voter ID and go do it like that. Go remove yourself from the situation. Or if you can't remove yourself from the situation because you have a steady job and your job don't transfer or you have a good paying job there, or if you can't get out because you can't afford to get out, you need to let Mr. Kemp know that he is a Ku Klux, that he is a Klan member that trying to stop blacks and other minority groups and poor whites to vote. It's ridiculous that people is making an issue out of it, like town bills, like, oh, we don't have people to black people should not vote because they don't do our issues. Then you have Lisa Cabrera. Oh, uh, I don't vote because it's not a purpose because of this and that and the third. Okay, okay, I can see your point, but you're not gonna affect change by sitting out and saying I'm not gonna vote. All these people doing is telling black people, hey, look, do what I do, don't vote, do what I do, don't do this, do what I do. And when you do the dumb dumb and follow these people and go and say, hey, look, I'm not voting because they don't have the issue, the Republicans already won. And then once you say, oh, police brutality, oh, this, oh, that, you didn't want to vote. You didn't want to vote. You're saying that black people shouldn't vote because of X, Y, and Z. You're saying that black people shouldn't vote because they don't have their best interests. But when when people getting fucked up, you want to go and say Joe Biden should do something. Did you vote? Do you have a right to go and demand somebody that you didn't vote for to do this for us when you didn't vote for this individual? You sat down and say, you know what, I'm not gonna vote for this individual because they don't have our interests at heart. Y'all sitting here with that ignorant shit like, oh, they doing this, or oh, they doing that, or oh, they doing this, they not doing nothing for us, but they doing it for all the other groups because they go and put their nicks out and step on their necks and say, hey, look, you gonna do what you gonna do. I don't like when people smear President Obama. I don't like that. I don't like when they do that because the fact of the matter is, when you smear a person for saying what they saying, when you smear a person for saying they did a good job, all they did is lecture. What can he do? What can he does? Are you gonna have his back when he get assassinated by these people? He worried about he worried about finishing his term for and retire to go spend the rest of his life helping people and um and 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 spend with his wife. He don't want to be a dead president because you have some ignorant motherfucker saying we should do this when the country is unstable. So he's like, I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to be a martyr. Will you give a fuck? Let's say for all intents purposes, Obama did exactly what they do exactly what uh, they s- they say. Let's say for all intents and purposes they do that. Then he gets assassinated. Do y'all people gonna go and hold him up hell high and say Obama did this and he did that, or you just gonna say, "Oh fuck this president, he just nobody," and they're gonna go and not do it, then and not pay attention to it. Then his excuse me, then his death will be in vain because people will say he does this and you're not gonna fight. You have people like Town Business. I don't know his name, but Town his real name, but Town Business is like, oh, I don't vote. And then Lisa Cabrera said, I don't vote. I don't know about Phil if he vote or not, but you could talk about people. Lisa, if you listen to this, Lisa Cabrera, you need, if you didn't vote, you cannot say anything about what Joe Biden policies is because you didn't vote. You can't call him Jim Crow Joe. You can't call him none of that stuff. You didn't vote. You didn't let your voice heard. Instead of doing that, you just say Jim Crow Joe this, Jim Crow Joe that, Jim Crow Joe this, Cam can town business, Jim Crow Joe, Cam can. You're not gonna call her by her real name. You're not gonna call her. You're not gonna put respect on her name, Kamala Harris, despite the fact that she did what she did. You didn't. You're not gonna put respect on her name, but you want people to respect you. Okay, get it. Nobody's not gonna respect you if you're not gonna respect the person that have you. You can not respect the person, but respect the title. Y'all so fucking ignorant that it doesn't. That I can make like the video that you put. I can make like 10 videos. That's how ignorant. That's how ignorant fuck you are. I can make 10 videos. But I don't want to waste my time making 10 videos about a motherfucker that is not nothing but that's nothing but what it is. And complaining about, oh, California don't have gun rights. Okay, California have reasonable gun reform. They didn't say that people can't own guns in California. They say they have to go through a rigorous background check. You don't want nobody to. You don't want no crazy nut cases owning a gun and shooting the place, and then you gonna say, "Oh, the governor shouldn't have did this," or they should never gave him a gun in the first place, or they should never do this in the first place, and that's why they had the strict gun laws to make sure that people that are sound minded and good get a gun. Y'all are just so easy to be manipulated. Y'all are just so easy to go and just be a martyr, be manipulated by people that say that type of stuff. Oh, just that and third. Do you know why they have voter ID? Do you know why they have laws? Because it gives people that are crazy not a chance to get a gun and do harm to other people. You register your ammo because if you kill somebody, they can know who what the last person they got the bullets, so they can go after that person and say, "You the last person that got the bullet. Why you shot this person? Or do you know what's going on?" It sounds reasonable to me. You have to register your ammo. You have to register that. That sounds reasonable to me. It doesn't sound intrusive like you say it, town. You want to be able to go and kill somebody with impunity and say it's self-defense. You want to kill a white person because you on that anti-white and you don't believe that they are redeemable and you believe all 99.9% of them are white supremacists. That's all. That's all that you thinking about. You don't know how many white people will trying to say, okay, we did something fucked up. We need a amends for it. And you say, instead of you giving them praise about it, like, okay, at least they amends for it, you looking at it like, oh, they better do it because they the one that do it in the first place. So they looking at the person like, why should I do something when this motherfucker is not gonna appreciate the fact that I did it? He gonna say, I have to do it. What's wrong with that picture? Tell me, what's wrong with that picture? What's wrong with it? Tell me. You have all these motherfuckers coming around and saying, oh, this and that and the third, or this and that and third. And then in practice, y'all just say, okay. In conclusion, for the people like Cal Bez and Lisa Carrero, I don't want to hear another topic of you talking about politics if you're not gonna vote. If you're not voting, if you don't vote, you should not say anything. You should have no right to say anything. You should have no right to say shit. Both of you, Town Biz and Lisa Cabrera, y'all should not have no rights to say shit. You don't want to vote, but you want to demand shit. You want to demand shit, but you don't want to vote. And once they take it from us and put us back in bondage, people gonna look at you. People gonna look at you and say, "Why did I ever listen to that person in the first place? They got us fucking back in fucking bondage." It'll be a week before I make another video. Maybe, maybe later than that. I just wanted to get this off my chest. Later.